This is Hickey, once again, the former spokesperson for the American Cultural Tradition and/or Cultural Memory Complaint Department, and the current head and/or chief and/or director of the Stochastic Intelligence Agency. Yes, and you have to forgive me if I'm a little out of sync. That is, if my visual appearance and my audio is a bit out of sync. If you wish to complain about this, don't complain to our department or any other of the agencies that belong under the general heading of contract with Theta, but rather to Mr. Tim Cook and his faulty Apple products, overpriced Apple products that don't even sync with one another. Yes, indeed. And we did not have these problems back in the day before Mr. Cook took over, I believe. But in any case, that's the reason that my visual, and my audio is a little off. But I'm here, once again, to discuss the current political situation, as I often do. And so apparently, ABC and the Disney company, or the various Disney companies and the various affiliates of ABC, sent over this, I don't know even what it is. It's a very strange looking guy, and some kind of clown, and bad actor. That's what he is, a bad actor with big ears, and he tried to inform me that the president or CEO or some such stuff of ABC and the Walt Disney World had fired me, and I had to inform him that I don't work for the Walt Disney World. I don't belong to the Walt Disney World. I don't even belong to the Apple World, the Mac World. Mac and aCiPhtTh is not is not my boss, and Walt Disney is certainly not my boss. And even if Walt Disney were alive today, he wouldn't be my boss. I don't work for them. And but what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to show you the clip of this clown who showed up at my door, knock, 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 tap, 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 Turkey, this is to inform you you're fired, and we just know this nonsense, and we told him sometimes, you don't have the right to fire me. I have my First Amendment rights, and I can have whatever opinion I want to have. And they weren't minded. No, they just kept telling me I was fired. And I was going on, and I was telling them that you can't fire me because I don't work for you. And they said, well, according to the FBI and Mr. Patel and President Donald J. and the Ministry of Truth, right? The Ministry of Truth, which is basically just a giant propaganda machine. And according to Rupert Murdoch and Fox News, they can fire whoever they want to, whether you work for them or not. So if you're working for somebody else, they'll fire you there. Like say you work for a public elementary school, well, they'll just come right in, and because you got that crazy lady in charge of the Department of Education, which supposedly doesn't exist anymore unless they want to fire you. So if you want money or something like that, you can't get it because the Department of Education doesn't exist. But if they want to fire you, it suddenly exists again, and they come in and they're like, knock, 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 tap, 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 we sent this clown to fire you. So anyway, that was all that was going on. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop myself from talking. There I am. And I'm going to close myself out here. All right, ready? I'm closing myself out, and we'll go ahead and listen to this clown that they sent over. Trying to tell me that he could fire me even though he wasn't my boss. All right, okay. So here it is. I'm going to close this window. Ready? There he is. Okay. So that's I made a video of him when he came over, and we're just going to go ahead and take a look at that video, and you can hear for yourself what he has to say.
Turkey, I didn't want to come over here and have to tell you this, but they didn't leave me with much choice. All right, so here's the deal, man. Apparently you're fired, okay? And if it were my decision, I'd certainly keep you around. But it turns out that because ABC and Patel and the FBI and all that. Well, when you do those videos and and a contracted fee through Theta is making all those rainbows and sevens and everything like that. Well, we think you're part of a terrorist transgender organization, and I'll show you the kinds of things you can't do. All right. One of the things you can't do is be drawing stuff like this. This is the United States, Turkey, and there's only one U.S. flag. You can't be, promoting this idea that it's acceptable to we used to have something called freedom of speech. I know that's what you're going to be telling me, and the First Amendment and all that stuff. But see this, what I'm drawing here? This is not acceptable to the Ministry of Truth and the FBI and all that stuff. Okay, so don't be drawing this stuff and associating yourself with radical terrorists like people who are trans and pro-trans rights and believe in freedom and basically just smart people. If you associate with them, then it's not really our fault that you'll get. Look, I'm in China, and I'm wearing my Chinese hot dog suit, and maybe I'm not in China, I'm not sure, but I'm having a good time. What I'm doing. Look, Turkey, don't try to politicize fascism, okay? Fascism is just part of our ordinary American way of life, okay? And it's been part of our way of life, for the longest time. So complaining about it now just really doesn't make any sense. Look in the mirror, Turkey, and see if you can really search your soul. Try to find the good in all of this, right? And just because Charlie Kirk wants to throw everybody out of the country that doesn't look like him, and makes these disparaging remarks about people of color, you know, and talks all this bigotry and homophobia and you know, doesn't really care about, you know, kids in schools getting shot up. Well, that's no reason to criticize him. I mean, look at all those conservatives that like want to make him into the new Jesus. Okay, so you know, like I said, Turkey, you're fired, and try to make the best of it. You're always promoting those awful DEI programs. Look at me. I started out two-dimensional, and you don't see me complaining about it. You know, and what could be more of a disadvantage than being a two-dimensional cartoon mouse, right? So you know, and I know some of my relatives, you know, were involved in that awful book, you know, that Spiegelman thing. And I just want to, you know, disclaim, I never said anything bad about the cats. I accept, you know, I accept my lot. I try to be credit to my race as a two-dimensional cartoon mouse figure, and I think you should do the same. Just accept that, you know, your inferiority, and you know, and honor the fascists, and honor the fascist Turkey. That's all I can say. Okay, I have to say goodbye now, because you know you are fired, and I can't spend too much time talking to you. But in the future, you know, don't say disparaging things about Emperor Trump and our great protector aCiPhtTh, and they're all going to heaven, and simultaneously Valhalla, riding them little flying ponies, and you know, getting rid of all the bad guys. So look at yourself in the mirror, Turkey, and just say an affirmation every once in a while. I can learn to be a good fascist. I can learn to be a good authoritarian. Oh, what's this? A fish. Look at that. Throw that out. That's not Charlie. That's just some kind of goldfish. Charlie was a tuna. Funny, that's funny. Anyway, I can learn to be a bigot. I can learn to be a racist. I can learn to be a homophobe. I can learn to all of that stuff, and learn that you know, kissing ass it can be very pleasant. And so you know, just go ahead and that's all I got to say, Turkey.
Can you believe this crap? In any case, well, boycott Walt Disney, boycott ABC, boycott, you know, all those crazy mouse products, and all the rest of it. That's all I can say. And if anybody comes knocking on your door and telling you that you're fired, you know, even though they're not your boss, just, you know, tell them, you know, oh, come on with the Mickey Mouse stuff. Seriously. Really? Seriously? Anyway, this is Turkey, once again, signing out. All right, okay, try to keep your job out there, and don't, you know, don't back down. Don't back down. Don't capitulate to these fools. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want to silence y'all. Yeah. There's only one good opinion in the United States under fascism, and that's what Emperor Donald J happens to like and say it is. So anyway, if Mickey Mouse comes knocking on your door, you know, don't take it too seriously.